We're starting off in Queens, New York. I did not go to this show because, quite frankly, it's way past my bedtime for stuff like this. But it was a heck of a show. I was told by a few friends who were in attendance. They say, "Hey, AJ, this is the one. This is the one. You got to check it out. This thing was phenomenal." And I could sit here and do an overview for you, but I think it'd be more fair if we just literally spent a few minutes on each match. And really, because I think personally, as I started watching this pay per view, it started going through the actual ebbs and flow of what went down here. The one thing that I think really stood out to me is I have an I Quit match. I have a singles title quarterfinal, which is a single, championship match, which is a single with no time limit. I have a single, both quarter cups, a four-way, but a four-way that is for a championship, the Stadium Stampede, and the world title match, where, of course, it was stipulated that if MJF lost, he would lose his hair. With the exception of Stadium Stampede and the opening I Quit, they kept the crazy stipulations to a very finite minimum. It wasn't a tables match followed by a no DQ match, followed by a street fight, followed by a no holds barred match, followed by a poolside brawl, followed by a whatever the fuck. There was no electrified fences. There was no barbed wire boarding, whatever the fuck. There was no craziness. For the most part, it was a wrestling show. They didn't open with it, but they gave you a nice energetic opening. They slowed it down for you. They gave you some good fucking wrestling matches. Dave, I want to ask you a question, because one of the things that I was curious about from your end of it, because for the first time since we've been really reviewing stuff on this show, you and I both are coming into this cold. Usually you're ahead of me, or I'm ahead of you, or I know something and then I fill you in, or you know something, you fill me in. Neither one of us saw any of the dynamites before this show, any of the collisions before this show. We jumped 2 feet into the goddamn AEW pool, so I have to ask you off rip. Did you feel like they did a good job filling you in as to what was going on? Did you feel lost? Did it matter at all? Were you just watching the matches?
That's a good question. It didn't. My brain didn't even think about that, because I'm pre-programmed. They don't have stories, so to me they're just matches. I didn't go into it thinking about the history behind. I know they have a little. I mean, they didn't do absolutely nothing, but I don't really think of AEW as the build-up guys. So I figured whatever thing they packaged they played before the match would have been. Honestly, I didn't even think about it. I didn't even now that you mentioned it, my brain did not once go, "Oh, I wonder what's happening here." I'm more like, all right, well, what is this match going to be like? To answer your question, but to be honest with you, one of the things that stood out for me, since you pointed out the fact the type of matches there were, before we get into it, the thing that stood out to me, maybe it's just this card specifically, but I feel like from the last time I watched this shit, the talent is way better. Like across the board. Like I remember 1 or 2 matches out of like 10 I wanted to watch, and it's just like you're just there for the ride of the rest of them, and it's like a clown fiesta, a bunch of bullshit. Like you said, there was one multi-man match. Like, why do I vaguely remember there being like 2 or 3 per these shows? So the fact that they had one, and we're about like match 2, match 3 in, and I'm like, bro, is it me, or is like, are we watching? We're not watching. I feel like we're watching people, more established people, rather than like, I don't know. I felt like the talent across the board, not everyone, was way better than I fucking remember, which made it a lot easier to watch.
Stood out to me as well. About half. As a matter of fact, if I'm looking at the card correctly, it was right around Osprey and Joe, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 matches down where I went.
It was Moxley.
This pay-per-view feels different. And my wife goes, this hasn't been really all that bad. I said, I know, which is crazy because it's not.
Then you both went, oh shit, it's not sucking.
It's not sucking because we're actually able to follow everything that's happening. I enjoyed all the matches leading all the way up basically to Stadium Stampede, and that was like the semi-main event match. I was having a good time. I was watching the matches just for the sake of watching the matches. As a matter of fact, let's start off with that opening match.
Yeah.
Go ahead and start off with the I Quit match for the AEW Tag Team Championship. FTR, the defending champs, against Cage and Cope, with the added stipulation that if Cage and Cope lose this match, they can never team again, which, for the record, Tony, gives away your finish. Unless you were really trying to gun-ho and fuck everybody over, the assumption is going to be, all right, I guess Cage and Cope are winning the match. But it's how we got there.
Well, hold on. That's not entirely fair. Well, hold on. That's not entirely fair. I understand what you're saying, and I agree with you with that. When you have these type of stipulations, like for instance, I'll give you an example: the cutting his hair if he lost. To me, I'm looking at that like he's not going to cut his hair. So to me, like that's a tell. But this one in particular, I wouldn't say that because because I look at it like this. On one hand, two very old wrestlers are not going to be tag teams anymore. That's not completely unbelievable, right? That they would lose and that happen. But then I look at it the other way. If they win, it's not like this is a one-off match and now they have the option to tag team together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're the fucking champions now. Now they are a tag team again. It's like you're full committing or you're not doing this anymore at all. To be honest with you, I was actually a little bit more shocked that they did win than them losing and splitting up. So I agree with you, but for this one in particular, but the people we're talking about, I don't know. I was.
You weren't completely sold.
I wasn't completely sold. What was going to happen based off of the stipulation of the match?
Now, this is the match that comes to mind, and the reason why I asked you the question to start off, which was, were you invested in the story? Because it seems, based on the stipulation and based on the knowledge that while I didn't see it, I do know that this is the rematch to a match that they already had between FTR and Cage and Cope, where FTR pulled shenanigans and win the match. Now we get to the I Quit stipulation and Beth Phoenix's involvement, because Beth Phoenix was with her guys at a previous match they had, and FTR dumped her with a move, damaged her neck. It's the reason why Beth was taken off TV. But then Adam Copeland had to go do some stuff off camera and decided to go be with his wife. And because Cope wasn't on the show anymore, Cage decided, forget this nonsense. I'm not going to get jumped on TV every week by myself. So he took off. But it's all part of one big story that they didn't really tell here. Now, I know enough about it to be invested somewhat, and I know enough about the characters that I've seen so far to be invested somewhat. I get the idea of opening the pay-per-view with the pyro, and they're at peak energy. The audience is at peak energy, and it's right there, and everyone's screaming at the top of their lungs, AEW, AEW, and then you hit them with the, you think you know me? Okay, I get it. It's an old tactic. WWE used to use it all the time. I understand. You get them when their sensitivity is at their highest. You hit that metalingus and they all bust a nut. No, I understand how that goes. I understand how that works. Unfortunately, I think they substituted the crowd reaction for the crowd comprehension. That there's, like, for someone like me who hasn't watched the Dynamites and hasn't watched the Collisions, with this kind of a stipulation, I'm like, God damn, I've never really seen an I Quit tag team match before. And if Cage and Cope lose, they have to, what the hell? How did this come about?
Yeah.
So that was my initial feeling. Now, if you watched the pre-show, I think they discussed it more in detail there. But if you didn't watch the pre-show, then you missed it. Which every time I tell people like that, they go, well, you should have watched the pre-show. I don't have time. I already have to dedicate 4 hours and change to the goddamn Yeah, which is another reason, folks. By the way, there were 3 matches before this tag match. We're not talking about them because I didn't see them because I didn't have time to see them. I already had dedicate. I had to watch 3 shows this weekend.
Yeah,
I was short.
That's a lot
time.
for me, dude. That's a lot for me, not you.
I was sure. It was, you know what? Not for nothing.
How long did it take you to get through this?
It's long enough. It felt like homework after a while.
Did you do it in one day?
No. I did AEW in 2 days.
Okay, I did it in 2
then,
as well.
And
not back-to-back days, by the way.
And then I did Clash in Italy Sunday, but not at 2:00 later that day.
Mm-hmm.
And then Monday, instead of watching Raw, I watched AAA. That's how
I watched AAA on Saturday as it happened.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because I got on thinking Clash in Italy was happening and forgot it was Sunday. All of my boys were already on, so we just threw on the AAA and watched it live.
Nice. Yeah, you got to watch it with other people, man.
I tell you that every time I'm watching it, it's with those 2 guys every single time.
Well, what are your thoughts on this particular match? The fact that it's the I Quit match.
It was cool. I'm not really big on the I Quit thing. I don't know. It's weird putting the mic in your you asshole. Like cool.
Well, Christian did have the line of the night. What the hell? I banged your mother.
Even they started saying like he banged your mom or some shit like that.
First of all, as much as I love Cope's entrance, Cage's entrance with the numbers is like honesty, respect, and then they got asshole, the Titantron. I was like this, and then the "Who's your daddy" chant, which I thought was great because that makes 2 people now in New York who get that chant from New Yorkers: Pedro Martinez and Christian Cage. That's who gets the "Who's your daddy" chants in New York City. This was as advertised. You knew going in, once I saw the card what it was going to be, that this was the I Quit match. It's Cage and it's Cope. It's going to be. It's going to be innovative. They're going to pull some shit out. It was just
nice to. I don't. It was just nice to watch actual tag team action. Like this felt like old. And to be fair, they're older tag teams. So it makes sense, but it felt like there was a tag team division alive. You know what I mean? Like they felt like something
for a split second.
This match meant something. Like I personally like FTR. When I see belts on FTR, to me, it's like if they're in a match defending that, it's not a joke to them. You know what I mean? Like these guys, FTR lives that tag team division. So to see the belts on them, this isn't just some throwaway match. Like they really do want to hold on to it and stuff like that. So because they got that respect they got my respect as a tag team, and then obviously you got Edge and Christian or Cage and Cope, whatever you want to call them. I mean, what better way to represent tag team than like these older gentlemen here? I wish it felt like this in the tag team division more often.
Yeah. Well.
This was nice to watch.
Let's be real now. The stipulation was only for Cope and Cage. So Cope and Cage won. They get to remain a tag team, and they get to remain. There are the tag team champions. There's no reason why we can't get more of it. I mean, that's one of the positives.
And that's another thing going the other way, right? Like FTR loses, they're not just gonna. They're coming back for the. You know what I mean? They're coming back for that belt. There's going to be constant action around that belt. That's one thing that AEW will refuse to let go is any type of tag team wrestling. But these are 2 actual tag teams. And I know we've talked about tag teams before. So that stood out to me on this match. That it just really felt like a tag team match that you can actually enjoy and not think it's some type of throwaway.
On the table right now, Cope and Cage against FTR in a rematch. Cope and Cage against the Young Bucks. Cope and Cage against the Hurt Business. Cope and Cage against the Demand. We have a lot of options here on the table of some possibilities. And for the record, as experienced as all of those people are, if you want an education on how to work as a tag team on a television, on a world global stage, get your pen and paper out, boys. Get in the ring with the tag team champions and go to school. Because they got this is their give back on their way out. So They're giving out free knowledge, boys. There's a bowl right there at the edge of the ring. It's got free knowledge in it. Come with your baggies and come get some of that good free knowledge. Here it is. Yeah. A good wholesome knowledge. Ooh, tag team. Ooh, that's a hot tag. I'll take some of that hot tag too. Let's do that. Oh, cut the ring in half. Let's get some of that psychology. Put it in the bag right here. What's that? Pull his leg out before he gets the tag. Ooh, that's some advanced shit. Let's get some of that. Put that in the bag right there. Work a hold while still working heel work with the audience. I'll take 2 scoops of that. Thank you very much. There you go. Put it in the bag. Come get you some education. The whole objective of this match was to grab me out of the gate. Successful. I was invested. I was in. After that, now we go to the AEW International Championship match. Kazuchika Okada defending against Konosuke Takeshita. And boy, oh boy. This is the match that came to mind when I said, if not for Queens, I'm not entirely sure I would have been as into this as I got.
Okay, that's interesting.
I don't think they had a bad match at all. I'm not
really
trying to say that at all.
Wow.
I didn't think it was that bad of a match. No, I thought they did a pretty okay job. I felt like the audience made this a way. I as a viewer who hasn't been following the product, they were doing things in the ring that if I had it on mute, I would be like, oh, that's pretty cool, I guess. No, not bad. But then with the volume on loud, that building was losing its fucking shit. Every time they touched, every time they took a bump, every time they did anything, that place fucking went absolutely fucking berserk. But I've got my issues with this fucking match though. I'm getting the impression you weren't all that impressed either by this.
What? You're bugging.
You did like it?
As we recall the rest of this, so far in my brain right now, this was the match of the night.
Fair.
So I'm
not opposed to it.
Well, I'm blown away because we clearly saw 2 different matches. So
I didn't say it was a bad match.
Oh, you shit on it. You said this shit was
shit on it.
Was
I gave it extra points because it did its job, which was that audience was invested in every fucking thing that they did. The only issue that I have with the match is the issue that I have with a lot of matches that look exactly like that, which is it takes a tank to knock these people over. I mean, people are taking power bombs, getting up, hitting clotheslines, getting up, taking brain busters, getting up. That's my picadillo with a lot of those matches. I think for me, it's a lower grade because I've seen so many of those matches and I'm just not impressed by them anymore. I've learned not to use that move because what happens is that the argument that I always have used against me when I watch a match like this and say I didn't see a whole lot of selling, they'll go, oh, then you're not watching the match because look, here's the sell, here's the sell, here's the sell. And I said, okay, when you point out those sells, I get it, right? Like when they do a double down and they're both down, they're exhausted, the crowd's on his feet. That's a sell, right? But it took 17 shits to get there. It's not like there was an exchange, a move, boom, he fucking bounces off. There's a second to breathe. It's clothesline, ducks to clothesline, German suplex, rolls through, big elbow, spine buster, double clothesline, we're down. I was like, it took 16 fucking attacks to get to that one fucking bump. And these aren't small moves. Like they're doing tombstones on the floor. They're doing fucking brain busters off the fucking. They're
kicking, punching the shit out of each other.
They're fucking killing each other.
Spitting punches, all kinds of shit.
Yeah, they're fucking killing each other. And I'm not opposed to 2 people killing each other. We're going to discuss a match later on that I feel was. There's a match that we're going to discuss later that I feel that was. Just that match was the idea that Takeshita and Okada had in their head. They just didn't execute it the way that those guys did. Okay. That to me, they had the right idea. They just didn't execute it in a way that I would prefer to see my matches executed. I don't think this was a bad match at all. If anybody was to sit here like you just did and say, I think that was the match of the night, I'm actually not all that opposed to it. I could see the argument because that match was hype. Everybody was up on that.
Yeah, so I mean, to your point, I get it. To your point, I get it. I understand when you describe it that way. I understand. And the cool thing is that we're both coming from different perspectives here. So you say you've seen these. Not only have you seen them, but you probably have seen them better. And I'm not talking about the match before that. I mean, like in the past, like Japanese style,
the strong style of just
matches. You've seen them done better, which is fair.
Yeah.
My perspective, I know of it. I haven't seen a lot of it. What I'm used to is the yeah. And we're 2 seconds into the match. We're 2 seconds into the match. So I'm not saying I prefer one over the other. All I'm saying it was refreshing. And it was nice to see them throw blows, punch each other, dump each other on the head, take a breather, get up and do another segment. Get up, do another segment. Go outside the ring and the guy jumps in the way. No, that's my product. You're there. Don't do You're damaging my product. You're damn. He sits down and it's like, I don't want my guy injured. And then he gets up and gets it done to him. Like to me, like it was funny. Like it was funny. They were beating the shit out of each other. I did kind of hear, to your point that you asked earlier, I kind of do wish I knew a little bit what was going on, because that Jason Statham looking motherfucker with the pink get up that came out afterwards, the place exploded for. I have no fucking clue who that is. So I feel like I'm missing out on a moment. And then he kind of turns on him. It's like, fuck, okay. At this point, I wish I kind of knew, because it felt like a stable kind of imploding like in front of me. And I mean, right, I'm not retarded, but like, I'm not. Like, I can't say words like that anymore. I'm not dumb, but like, my point is like, I didn't get that excitement. You know, I saw everyone's face and they're like, oh shit, that guy's here. And so to your answer before, this was probably the only moment where I was like, fuck, I kind of wish I knew what was going on, because I feel like I should be hyped right now. But all that aside, yes, the strong style here was refreshing to me, and I think that's why there's another match that I think might take it, but when we revisit it, it'll come back into my head. But for now, right now, I got this as match of the night from my memory, because this shit was so good. I was locked into this shit.
The guy who came in at the end was Kyle Fletcher. He's also a part of the group, former TNT champion. He was just recently out with an injury. This was his big return. And it seemed like he didn't want to be in the middle of this rivalry, and he had made a choice, and then he made a different choice. So I'll give them the credit for the storytelling as well, because for the most part, they didn't really explain it, but they executed it in a way where you can kind of put it together. So I'll give them that. The Women's Owen Hart Cup quarter final. This was Mina Shirakawa versus the forever champion, the Ring of Honor Women's Champion, Athena. Okay. So I don't have a problem with either one of these two ladies. I think they went out there and had a very solid performance. I am not an Athena fan. I'm just not. I don't think she's a terrible wrestler at all. She has this vibe where it's just like she really thinks she's the greatest fucking human being that has ever lived, ever of all time. And that's the gimmick, right? That's the work. And and that's the character that she's portraying, the forever champion. She's been the Ring of Honor Women's Champion for like 500 or 600 fucking days, or some random fucking number that they threw at me during the pay-per-view. I don't know. I haven't been following. Much like the rest of the civilized world, no one's really watching Ring of Honor. So for her to have been in Ring of Honor for that long bothers me, because I don't think she should have been in Ring of Honor in the first place. I think she's more talented than that. If she was going to go to Ring of Honor to help bring along talent, that might be a different story. And I don't know if she did or she didn't, because I don't watch the show. But to have been there for that long and then arrive onto the main, I don't know, do they call it main roster? I don't even know what their terminology is.
It's a roster.
Is it the main one, though? Is the question.
I mean, is it the main if it's the only one?
Yeah, because I don't want to be that guy about Ring of Honor being kind of like their NXT, but kind of feels like their NXT. From the clips that I've seen from Ring of Honor, it does feel a lot like fucking developmental. So the fact that she's been,
It's
the
not wrong
Johnny
with that.
Gargano, of that goddamn thing.
Ooh, damn, dude, you didn't have to fucking do that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's disrespectful.
He's already super sad as it is, so we don't want to go ahead and make him any more sad than he already is. But your thoughts on Mina Shirakawa and Athena? Did this match wow you in any way?
No,
Any
it was all
standout?
right. It wasn't bad. You know what's funny? Remember I told you that John Moxley? I was like, damn it. I was saying that's when I realized the talent was better. And I was like, I was talking to the group, and I was like, damn, is it me or is like the talent better? I feel like we've been watching some pretty good bangers back to back. My one friend was like, no, don't do that. We just watched Athena. We just watched that women's match, and that was okay. He was like, I wouldn't call that shit a banger. So that's exactly how I feel, right? Like it wasn't a bad match.
I don't feel like they dropped the baton, but I don't feel like they ran off with
like
it. Like
if he didn't make me refocus on how I felt about that match, they would have slipped through the radar as a banger. That's what type of match they had. Like I wasn't really thinking about it until you pointed out.
Never thought I'd say this in my life, but that was the perfect spot for this match to follow Takeshita and Okada, because Takeshita and Okada did such a great job. Your brain hazed right over whatever
right over next. Top of it. Because it wasn't bad. No, it wasn't bad. But at the end of the day,
stood out to you.
At the end of the day, I'm not an Athena person. I almost kind of, not to be disrespectful, I kind of low-key forgot she was in WWE until my buddy pointed it out. And then I kind of like vaguely remembered it. And then this Mina,
Ember Moon,
and this Mina, like she just, her look confuses the fuck out of me. I don't know if she's Hispanic or Japanese. I don't understand what was happening. She came out and did some weird ass dance move. I don't know what. So I didn't hate it. It was okay. But yeah, it was all right. It was nothing to write home about.
It was all right.
But it wasn't bad. So
no, it was good. Solid. It was all right. So this match had a stipulation, but not the type of stipulation that we see generally here in AEW, or at least not with my history with it. No time limit match. This match actually had a backstory to it that they showed, and I was able to actually see and get caught up on. That Kyle and him had the match where there was some shenanigans. Then it was Moxley was saved by the bell, and they were like building up to this. Now it was the whole no time limit deal. And this actually, not only was it explained, but it kind of hit me in the heartstrings, because it sounds stupid, but that's one of my favorite storyline gimmicks to pull, is the no time limit, because it's a stipulation that you can provide, that you can give the fans, that doesn't require a whole lot of accessories and violence. We did it when we were working with 2KW. We had a main event that ended in a 20-minute time limit draw, and then we had the afterbirth stuff to just go crazy, and people were pissed. And then we built it up for weeks for the next show where it was going to be no time limit, and people went nuts for the no time limit. If you do it correctly, it's a really good stipulation. And for this,
and to be fair, they didn't really even go egregiously long, to be honest with you.
But it was the fact that it lingered there. The fact that it had you thinking the whole time, buckle up, boys, we could be here a while, because the last time the bell rang on them and we couldn't get the job done. I've pulled that story twice in my career with the whole, it goes to a time limit draw, we build it up with the fans, and all of a sudden you really like push it. And this match will have no time limit. And they go, yeah, that's right, a goddamn winner.
I got snacks. We're here all day.
Yeah, man. Low-bearing fruit is not terrible fruit, boys and girls. You don't need to do a no disqualification, TLC, barbed wire on a pole, fire around the ring match. No time limit will get a pop if you do it right. If you do the pro wrestling correctly, you can get a pop with that. And this popped me. I was ready for this match to see what was going on. I wanted to see if John Moxley was going to actually get in here and wrestle somebody, and he did. And my wife's watching it with me, and she goes, "Hey, I forgot that he could do." because he did it for so long as somebody else, and now he's in AEW. He started off doing it that way, and then he just went right back to the whole hardcore thing. But yes, he is, by the way, a world-class professional wrestler, and he can do it. And I credit it, and I'll do it here on the show. I credited Kyle O'Reilly. Because that's the kind of match that Kyle O'Reilly will have. Kyle O'Reilly can bring anything on it, anybody in a wrestling ring. I am firmly a believer of that.
That's my first time really seeing him, to be honest with you.
I'm telling you, that boy is something good. I have personally had the chance of working with Kyle and one of his best friends, Adam Cole. I've had the chance of working with them on the same show. They are phenomenal at the same thing. You could put Kyle in the ring with anybody. It's going to be phenomenal. Roderick Strong right in there. That's why, to me, one of my favorite staples of all time is the Undisputed Era. 4 guys that you can plug into any situation with anybody, and the match will be fire. You can put them all in the main event together. You can get 4 matches out of it. Boom, 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 boom. And it's a fire card every single time. And I was happy with this. The Mina Shirakawa and the Athena match kind of had me in cruise control a little bit, like that. Like, wasn't bad, wasn't great. It just kept the flow of the room going. These boys came in there, and I don't know about anybody else, but professional wrestling is my thing. This was a professional wrestling match. I enjoyed the hell out of this. This was one of my favorite Jon Moxley matches in AEW ever. Of all the matches that he's had in AEW, this is probably one of my favorite ones he's ever had.
Yeah. I mean, watching this again, it just reminds me of how much Jon Moxley really just lives in his own world. Every time I see Jon Moxley, I feel like it's like I just warped to a different dimension while I watch this match, and then when it's over, I just go back to AEW. He just lives in his own world, man. I love watching him. His intensity is different. It's like it's him. I don't really see it anywhere else. That's why I feel like I said he's in his own like little world, because when you see Moxley, it's Moxley. You kind of somewhat see the same thing all the time from him, at least from my experience with him. But it's like it's good. Like, it's him. It's like his signature thing. So I was excited to see this. I haven't seen him in a while. So it was nice to see him. Does it mean did he get bigger? Like, this motherfucker.
Oh yeah, no.
Huge.
Great shape.
He's massive. Phenomenal shape. He looked great.
Great shape.
And then like I said, Kyle O'Reilly, this is my first time really kind of seeing him. And I'm like, he gave me very old school Ring of Honor back in the day vibe. Nice, and obviously Moxley's kind of from that breed. He's from that breed too. So
he's from that era, yeah.
Right. He's from that same era. So I think that's why this match also felt really good. It's an occurring thing that I'll point out towards, I'm going to say it towards the end, but this is that occurring thing where you're getting like this old school vibe current. Like, it doesn't, we're not calling back to anything. We're doing this today. We're not calling really back to anything old school back in the day, stuff like that. It was good. It was really nice to see that. I would be interested going back, checking out some more of his matches and shit. Maybe next time you're around, maybe throwing a match or two on, just check him out, because he went. They went. This match was really good.
Really good. Speaking of really good.
Now, speaking of old school vibe.
Speaking of old school vibe, I want nothing more than to clip out this match, and I am going to go ahead and suggest that every wrestling school in the world showcase this match in your tape watching curriculum.
But it better be your advanced class, because a lot of this shit will go right over your head.
Oh, yeah.
This is extremely, like, you. First of all, Will Ospreay is not someone that will be duplicated. I mean, you could try, but
absolutely not. No.
Dude tweaks his, like, I'm trying to break it down to his fibers and the way that he moves. You can do the
physically gifted. Yeah,
he tries, but it won't look. To this day, that little fucking weird backflip spin, yet somehow he gets his like toe right here on your foot. I don't even know how the fuck he's turning. I try to slow it down and I can't see how it is like contorted in a way where his foot shouldn't be here, but it is, and he kicks you in the. I don't understand how this kid bends his body the way that he does. You have that, and then you got the fucking OG, like big man who feels like he's moving all over the fucking place. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know if they should take your suggestion and show this shit. You might fuck up people's career trying to duplicate this shit.
Here's why I say it should be in every wrestling school. Every time a veteran tells the young blood, "Hey kid, slow down. This is what we're talking about." Will Ospreay still did all of his shit, still held all of his intensity, still snapped his shit off like he snaps it off. That inverted little kick he does, the hidden blades that he was doing, his os cutters, everything that he would normally do in a match, but at the right place, at the right time, while the heel did his thing, while the heel got his heat, so that you can get the pops that you're supposed to get on the moves that you're supposed to get him for. Even with the hot start, Joe does his entrance, and it's my favorite part of the whole match because Ospreay hits him with an os cutter right during the entrance. He can't even get the towel off. He hits him with a cutter, hot start, boom. There's a lot of shit going on. Bam, bam, bam. He's beating it. He cooks leg. He's trying to get a pin. He's desperate. He's trying to beat the big man early. I don't want to go into deep water with Samoa Joe. Let's beat him right now. More psychology, by the way. Right? He's the smaller guy. I don't want to sit here and box with this guy. I don't want to be in here with the ring with Samoa Joe for forever. This guy took Punk 60 minutes 3 times. I'm straight. If I can get him beat in 5 minutes, let's do that. He goes off. Joe finally cuts him off. Big move. Boom. Picks him up. Clothesline. Bam. And then Joe takes a breather because that's the point. High energy. Bring him down. High energy. Bring him down. But he didn't just bring him down. For anybody who didn't see it, go back. When Joe cuts off Will and Will's on the ground selling, Joe looks up to the referee. He goes, "Where the hell were you at? You didn't
yeah.
What just happened right now?
You just let him do that shit?
Doing? You just gonna let him do that shit to me?" I was crying. It's like, where the hell were you at? You don't see this guy doing all this goofy shit? Oh, man, no, but this was the textbook situation of modern big man, little man, and also a lesson in styles. A lot of Will Ospreay matches are with guys that are kind of like...
No pun intended, by the way.
Yeah.
It felt very much like a Styles Joe match.
Oh, yeah. When he picked him up for the Styles Clash, I was like, that's not Joe's first
funny. It's funny because I was sitting there, I was watching it, I'm like, dude, what world do we live in where AJ is retired and I'm watching a Samoa Joe match? Like, this is crazy. And then shortly after, hit him with the Styles Clash. I'm like, oh, dude, this shit was meant to be.
Joe's not on that style schedule. Joe hasn't been on the road like that. He's still got some mileage, but the ideology of styles, right? A lot of times when people do dream matches, when fans put together dream matches, it's usually with two people who are very, very similar to one another. A lot of Will Ospreay matches are against guys that are kind of like Will Ospreay, a Ricochet, or someone who also flips, someone who also wrestles at breakneck speed, and it's supposed to be a who's going to be better at that style. That's not dream matches. As they say in boxing, styles make fights. Sometimes you need a yang to the yin. That's why one of AJ's favorite opponents of all time is Joe. Because Joe is not going to he'll do a dive, but he's not going to come off the top rope. He's not going to do anything that's going to conflict with your shit. He is going to do shit that stands out for him, so that when you do your shit, it stands out. If you do a 450 and then I do a 450 and then you do a shooting star and then I do a shooting star, we're just playing gymnastics at this point. But now if you have Ospreay get off his shit early, get the jump on the big man does what big men do and that cuts him off, and you got the baby face getting the sympathy. He's getting his ass kicked, right? He's trying to survive. He's fighting off. He's giving you hope, but he just keeps getting cut off. And all of a sudden, here comes that off the ropes, that kick you were talking about. Bam! Now he's got momentum. Here comes the elbow. Here comes this. Here comes that. And the crowd's on their goddamn feet. This was a complete mixed mash of styles, and yet it worked perfectly in the situation between these two. And it also helped that Joe is the kind of veteran that understands Will's the one who's going to the main event of Wembley Stadium. My job is to make him look like he deserves to be in the main event. Mm-hmm. So that means in the beginning of this match, I'm going to beat his ass. You saw that throw that he did to Will in the barricade when he just fucking disrespectfully he just threw his ass in there. He gave that motherfucker all he could handle. And then at the end of it, it took everything Will had to get over on the big guy. Hidden Blade didn't work. Had to hit him with several moves. He had to chop that tree down before it fell. And he's got the hard-earned victory. And he's got the momentum. And that to me, this is the second time in the night that I'm saying this. But that was pro wrestling to me. That was pro wrestling to me. That was a perfect mixed match of styles. I know earlier I said that I had my picadillos with Okada and Takeshita with what they were doing and how they were doing it, but I get the idea behind it. I get what they were going for. Mm-hmm. I understand the way that what they were trying to do. I just didn't like the way they did it. These guys, I love the way they did it, and I love the way that they got there, and I love the fact that the objective of this match. You got Samoa Joe in the ring. And the objective of this match is we're going to get Will Ospreay over hard body. And they did, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, they did.
They did. So mission accomplished.
And boy, can that man still go, dude. Joe looked I haven't seen him in a while. Joe had me just excited here than I was back in the day when you used to play the shit. So shout out to him, man. He's still doing it, man.
I was getting a little sad when I saw the hair kind of going a little bit on Joe. We were kind of twinning a little bit. Only his is in the back. Mine is in the front. I love the fact that mine is in the front for everyone to see. You know, I'm not hiding anything. It's right here. But if you look at Joe straight up,
mine is right here.
Yours is on top.
It's right here. So if I got it pretty like fluffed out right now. But like when you like bedhead shit. Or like if I do it and I don't do it correctly, you can tell right here is where it's starting to go, dude. I don't like it. I don't like it.
I'm not with it. Hey, I've been living with this for a few years now in the front.
Hey, God bless you.
So that takes us to the other quarterfinal between Bandito and Swerve Strickland here. And I'm sorry. Everything that you ever seen Ricky Bobby? I know you've seen Ricky Bobby. I know you've seen Talladega Nights. When at the end of the movie, toward the end of the movie, when he's about to race the big race at the end of the film, and he didn't get a sponsor, he made his own car, and it has the Cougar on the car, and everyone's trying to be uplifting, and his girlfriend is like, "Because you bet on yourself, and you got to go out there, and you're gonna win," and gave him a big inspirational speech, and then that one lunkhead gave his own speech, and it was like the worst speech ever, and then Ricky Bobby was like, all right, everything that she said that was good and nice and pure, you ruined it, right? you fucked that up, right? So I'm riding high on Will Ospreay and Samoa Joe, and then I see Swerve Strickland come out next, and I said, damn it, Tony, everything that was good and pure about that quarterfinal match, now you're giving me this, and you ruined it. What is the matter with you? Why didn't you space this shit out? Because god damn. I have my own personal issue with Swerve. I'm over it. I'm not judging this match based on whatever beef we had. I'm just looking at this match as it happened and as it was, and I actually don't have a problem with Swerve Strickland in this match. I am just now learning. I am not a Bandito fan at all, whatsoever. I don't like his mechanics. I don't like his timing. That mask bothers me. I think it's supposed to be like some sort of handkerchief look, but it's an actual.
Yeah, he has like a shicey. It looks like something similar like underneath that like kind of makes the under part look black, and then the mask comes down like a. It's like black. It comes down like a bandana.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird looking mask.
I thought it was cool. One of my
It's
buddies
different
pointed
for
out that I didn't
sure,
like
but
it.
I'm not. What did
I
you
think that's why I like it, because it's different from your normal luchador mask.
Yeah, it definitely is
Different.
different. And it definitely stands out, but I don't like the design, and I don't like his style. I don't know. There's something about the way that he does his shit, and I don't know. I genuinely thought before this match happened, when I knew it was coming, I said I'm probably not going to like it because I don't like a lot of Swerve matches. But I don't think Swerve was the issue here.
I kind of feel like this was a 2 points higher Athena match. Like, it wasn't bad to me. Actually, I think it was a little bit better. I think the intensity was a little bit better. I thought I was going to get more out of Swerve. I mean, I really loved that jump on his shoulder, kick to the back of the head shit. That was dope.
Cool. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That was dope. I love that. I think Bandito was doing fantastic. I thought he was doing great. I do understand what you're saying, though. I don't know how long he's been in the business, so please don't take
a while. And he's the Ring of Honor World Champion right now.
So let me double down on this and say, please don't take this as me knocking on his experience. What I'm saying is, I got a lot of green and the way he was doing some of his moves. Like, it felt like it was over energetic. I don't really know how to explain.
Timings are. He's been doing this for 15 years.
Is that what you think it is? I think it was okay. It might be timing. Now that you say it might be timing
issue.
But maybe I'm buying into the sell, but I'm pretty sure in that match he gave himself a stinger. Do you remember?
Do you remember? If he
was on the ground, he did the into the ropes, and when he pulled him up, it came like this. I rewound it and played it. It's very vague, but it looks like he tweaked something. It's very subtle. And then he hops off. You know how something pinches you and you fucking and then he starts shaking a little bit and he looks stiff in that area. And then it settled down. So it looked like he may have gave himself a stinger. If not, he's really good at selling it. And I took the bait. So I used that as an example of, it just felt like he was moving a lot without care. Again, I'm not trying to say that he was bad. I thought he was decent.
Right.
But to piggyback on your point, I understand what you mean. I thought I was going to get more out of Swerve, which I was really excited to see. And it looked like he just let Bandito get his shit off most of the match. And then he ended up taking the W at the end. So whatever. If listen, it's one card, so I'm not going to kill him on that. And that's the way this match went. That's the way this match went. That's why I say I think it's a slightly better Athena match. Like what we said about the Athena match, I feel like this was slightly better. It wasn't bad. I do want to see more of Swerve because I keep hearing how awesome he was, how awesome he is. But I was hoping to see that today, on this day, and I didn't get that. So that's my only gripe with it. Yeah, I didn't get it.
Yeah, no, I up until this point, I was vibing, and I went, all right. But luckily for me, the women came to save the day. Once again, don't send a man to do a woman's job. Here they come into the ring, and there was 4 of them. And I'll be honest, when I saw that it was a 4-way, I wasn't a big fan, but then I found out the 4 that were in it.
Listen, I want to cut you off right now because I want the world to know. I don't even know how to fucking say her name. What is it?
Thekla.
Thekla?
Bruh. Yes.
Bruh. I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan. I am her biggest fan, actually. Like, can we get her out of here? And can we move her to a better place? Because I see her and I see a lot of things that fit. And one person jumps into my brain and I need it, and I don't know if I'll ever get it. And it kind of makes me sad. And I know I'm gassed. It's my first time seeing her, because sometimes when you see it, you see it. But boy, would I love her and Becky to just go. I would love to see her and Becky run a package. I love the shit this girl talks. I'm buying everything she's selling to me. And man, with that, we're going to get into that a little bit more specifically later. But this, we've mentioned before that sometimes Becky kind of seems out of place because of I'm not saying she's the girl to do it. What I'm saying is she needs that type of attitude to come towards her for Becky to really showcase what she can do. So that was the first thing that jumped out to me. But aside from that, something that'll probably never happen. I love the way this girl worked this ring, dude. She was good, dude. She is good. Go ahead.
Cut a promo.
Go ahead.
No, she can cut a promo. She can work. She's my favorite part of this whole match. She's my favorite part of every match that she's in.
I'm buying everything she's selling.
I love Thekla. For the record, I love Thekla. I like Sheeta. I like Jamie. I like Chris. I like all four of these wonderful ladies. And I think they're all phenomenal performers, to be honest with you. But they fell into the trap of the multi-person match where it just turned into a lot of, and I'm saving most of this for the next match, but this is the AEW style match that I think people look at and they go, see, that's the problem. Because you have four very capable wrestlers, women or not. They're very capable wrestlers, all four of them. But it's the move. That at some point someone goes, oh shit, pin. And you're just like, oh, all right, okay. You forget that you're in a wrestling match for a second. It just becomes a thing. They're so athletic. These women are so good at what they do that I feel like sometimes not them as in them specifically, but I feel like whenever we get to an AEW multi-man matches, this is an AEW multi-person problem where that's why I think we enjoyed this show so much because of the singles match aspect. As soon as you start getting into multiple people, things just becomes a contest to see who can pull off the most moves of the night instead of continuing with the thought. There's a built-in story here. There's a reason all four of these women are in the ring together, right? Thekla is the newcomer, but she's the dominant force right now in the division. Akira Shida is an OG, all right? She wants an opportunity at the championship because she wants to make history. She wants to have the most reigns in AEW history. Jamie Hayter still hasn't recovered from the injury from a while ago to reclaim the championship she once held. And Chris Statler has a problem with all three of them. So it's the perfect recipe for a fatal four-way. Most multi-person matches don't have this kind of connection. But instead of playing up to that, and they did do it a little bit, but it wasn't the focus of the match, and I think that's the problem. I think they had a good match. I think on paper they had the potential to be a great match. And I think that's my only takeaway. If the takeaway, if you got a B on the test and I was expecting an A, that's not really, to me, all that bad of a criticism. I feel like you still did a really good job. I just like, damn, the potential.
Actually, I'll argue with you, especially in this day and age. If you're expecting an A at a multi-man match like this, that's your fault. If you can give me a C plus in a multi-man match, I'm okay with it. That's how low my bar is. And I just don't mean you. I mean anyone in general. If you're expecting a S tier match out of a multi-man match, you're fucking bugging. You're delusional. Enjoy what you got in front of you. It's the only way to enjoy it.
I'm not disagreeing with that. But I fell into the trap because I believed that there might have been a possibility that maybe, what made me probably would convince me is the Thekla aspect, because she's so cinematic, she's so theatrical, and she's such a good talker and understands the concept of the storyline so well that I figured maybe they'd be able to kind of like figure this out come up with a little bit of a different formula, but they all fell into the same formula that it always is. So I also like Thekla's entrance too, by the way, that in the pipe look with the spider.
She's got the whole thing, dude.
Whole package.
I'm gonna try my best to even just kind of keep up with her. I ain't gonna hold you. Like, I really like what she's got right now. And I want to see if it was maybe they just caught me on the right day, and I'm like, oh, she looked good here, and then she's really not all that. I want to check her out more.
No, she's actually pretty good. I'll give her that. She's pretty good. It was a really good match. It was. I enjoyed it. I was just Damn. Wow, there was so much more on the table here. But our next match, the Stadium Stampede, it sucked. So now we move on to the other match, and now I'll bring it back. Fucking hell, here we go. The fucking
Okay, hold on. Because that since you already said where you at with it, I get it. And listen, I don't all the way disagree with you.
Mm-hmm.
However,
However,
I will say, in the midst of it, it was a lot. There was a lot going on. We had food fights. We had cars hitting other cars. We had all kinds of ridiculous shit going on here. But I don't know what at the end of it when it was over, I don't know why I was just like, I wasn't so bad. Like it was chaos. You know what I mean? I mean, they were wrestling in fucking tuxedos. Like it's supposed to be a clown fiesta. It's fine, but like I don't know. Like I said, it ain't winning no awards anytime soon. But I don't know if maybe just because there was only one of these, it was kind of. Can I say when I did start watching this, when the Thekla match was over, the visual for this match popped up, and I paused it, and I said to everybody, I said, "Okay, do we want to try?" And before I even finished, they were all like, "Nah, we can do it another day." So this is where I paused and came back. So I don't know if that was the same thing for you, but I reset myself for this match. Is my point. I came back to this 2 days later, wanting to watch some wrestling. So I was a little more forgiving and accepting to what I was watching. I could imagine if you went 3 matches and then into this shit, I don't think you'll have the same perspective if you're not a fan of it.
I paused after Will Ospreay and Samoa Joe.
Oh.
So when I came back, it was Bandito Swerve, it was the 4-way, and then it was
that's why you're fucking jaded.
So I was cooking, and then all of a sudden, no. But again, I didn't really have. Up until this match, despite whatever my criticisms are, I enjoyed every single match, just to levels, to degrees and levels.
Right.
You know, whatever. No, I almost skipped it entirely, and my wife was like, "Okay, look, you're gonna talk about it on the show. You gotta watch it." I'm like, yeah. All right, and then I saw the tuxedos, and I went, "Listen." And then here's the funny part: it's more sad than funny. So I'm watching the intros, and they did if I'm not mistaken, I think they did the heels first. And so I was like, I couldn't remember the order or what it was. I just remember
Ricochet's team came out first. Was he the heels?
That's the heels, right? Okay, because that's what fucked me up. Because
I mean, it's
they came out. Ricochet and his guys came out in baseball outfits. So I'm thinking to myself, oh, they're doing like some sort of theme because. In the past, for Stadium Stampedes, they wore outfits like this as a theme leading up to, like, I think the very first one they wore like football jerseys and shit because it was in a football field. It was in the Jacksonville Jaguars football stadium or whatever. So I said, oh, they're in Queens, right? The Mets play in Queens. They're wearing baseball outfits. Maybe that's the theme for this match. And then their partners came out wearing exactly the same shit they always wear. I went, oh, so they're just doofy. That's what that was. They're just fucking stupid. That's why they chose to wear that. So I said, okay, maybe the baby faces, when it's their turn, they'll have a theme. And that was correct. They did have a theme.
Ballroom.
For whatever reason, it was, as you put it, ballroom. I was like, what is happening here?
It was night out with the fellas with stogies and casino. That's what it was.
God.
My man was doing moonsaults in a blazer. That shit was crazy.
They had Shelton Benjamin out here doing high knees and table bumps in a goddamn white button down and slacks. And Bobby Lashley is out here in dress shoes giving the business. The motherfuckers. The only people that really didn't do anything all that goofy was the Hurt Business. They just did incredible
No,
moves.
they really didn't. Actually, now that you say that, I don't think they had anything outrageous.
They actually did have one interaction though. That goddamn Leo Rush character, where he does the golem thing.
That weird thing. We were like, "What the fuck are we? What is this?" It's supposed to be fun, man. I think that's the problem. Like, this got Jericho written all over it. Like, this shit only happens when Jericho's around. Like, this all theatrical wrestling, but just like as theater is like a fucking Jericho thing, man. I'm telling you.
And here's the hot take right here. If this is a match that you really enjoyed, I'm not mad at you. I've tapped out on the ideology.
It was fun.
That we're all going to see things the same way. So if you enjoy the match, I'm going to give it to you. Enjoy the match. As long as you give it to me, that I don't have to like the match. because you know what really summarized the match for me? This match was 31 minutes. And I shit you not, I think they were about 20 minutes in when I think it was Tony Schiavone, which, by the way, the commentators of the 30 minutes probably spent 15 to 20 minutes laughing at everything that they saw, to the point where I could hear people moving the mics because the laughter was so intense for some of them. And at one point, Tony Schiavone it got real quiet. And so Tony Schiavone just says on the microphone for everyone to hear, has anybody tried to pin anybody yet? No. No, Tony. Not a single pin attempt was made.
Oh, they're trying to kill each other, dude.
They're just trying to go for aggravated assault queens. And I said on last week's show that match made me nervous because, and this became a thing, they booked a stadium stampede in the city of New York, which, for those of you outside of my hometown, we have a very strict athletic commission. So they were very specifically told, no blood, no fighting in the crowd. No, you can't fight up the steps. You can't do this. You can't do that. So many regulations on that match. So they did everything that they could to make it as entertaining as they could, but they were handcuffed. So I'll give them that. But no, this was not my cup of tea. I'm all set. I'm all set.
I'm not saying I liked it. It was funny, and I get it. And if there's a crowd, you can get away with this shit. It's this one. So
yeah, this is the one right here. So we now head over to the main event of the show. We're talking about the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. It is title versus her. It is MJF's Turkish hair plugs on the line against Darby Allin and his World Championship. Can I say Darby's... Oh, shout out to MJF with the Hana Kimura gear, the color scheme, and I wanted to shout that out. That was cool. And I don't think Darby Allin very often has a black light in his entrance, but they included it, which was cool because it showed the Hana Kimura gear lit up, which was the blue and the pink that you saw in MJF's outfit. I don't know if you remember Hana Kimura. I think we talked about her on the show. She was the Japanese wrestler that that committed suicide. She unalived herself, as the internet would say, based on some very inappropriate abuse she was taking both online and physically amongst her circle. And she passed away a few years ago. So for whatever reason, I don't know if it was because of an anniversary thing or whatever, but he decided to pay homage. He came out with the gear and the color scheme that was very tribute to Hana Kimura. And then Darby Allin's entrance, which is normally really dope. And I love that theme with the very punk rocky. I love it. Who was the guy in the cab? Because my wife goes, "Is that Darby Allin without face paint?" I said, "No, that's not Darby. I don't know who that guy is." And then the guy gets in the cab and he goes, "Hey, take me to Louis Armstrong Stadium. I got to get there before the main event," which is hilarious because it's the start of the main event. And the cab drives off, and then the camera goes down into the sewer, and it shows Darby Allin, and he's skateboarding for what appears to be Midtown Manhattan, all the way to the west end or the east end of Queens, which for those of you outside of the city is a long time, but there's a long ways away. But to be fair, if you're not familiar with New York, Darby skateboarding in the sewer is going to get to that building before the guy in the cab is. I promise. He's going to get there before the guy in the cab. From where he was, it looks like they're taking either Midtown. No, not even Midtown Tunnel. They're probably going to take Queensboro Bridge, and that's forget it. So it was a little confusing because about midway through the match, my wife goes, "What happened to the guy in the cab?" I said, "There's no way he made it."
I thought they were doing like a Ninja Turtles thing.
Legend has it he's still in the cab right now.
He's still in traffic right now?
He's still in traffic as we speak.
That's fine.
But hair versus title on the line. Not a fan of the step. I don't think the hair was built up enough.
I was gonna say, well, that it was really, the stipulation kind of told me what was gonna happen. So
yeah, it wasn't really built up enough. I didn't, I wasn't. It was like if Edge in his prime would have been in a hair versus hair or something like that, like someone who's personified for their hair. He's had a buzz cut on the side or like skin fades for most of his goddamn existence in the pro wrestling business. All of a sudden, he's in a goddamn hair match. I was like, all right, cool, whatever. I didn't even give a shit about the step. I just wanted to see the match because these two, of all the talent in AEW, in my opinion, have the best in-ring chemistry. These I've seen these motherfuckers open a pay-per-view, and now I'm watching them close the pay-per-view, and I said, man, world title on the line, main event, Queens, New York, these motherfuckers is about to bring it. And bravo. I enjoyed the match very, 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 very much. I'm not the biggest MJF guy, but I appreciate him. I think he's a hell of a talent. I am sold on the idea that Darby can be a champion. 35 days, still had 7 title defenses, all bust ass matches, bust his ass here as well. This guy is indestructible. Indestructible. I believe it now. Finally, I'm a believer. You've converted me. I don't think this man can be killed. If I ever hear online, rest in peace, Darby Allin, bullshit. He's on an island. He's on an island somewhere with Tupac Shakur. Him and Tupac hanging out.
On drinking tea is crazy.
This man will live forever until the test of time.
There's I liked it. I liked it too. It's funny you say that. I'm also not I'm not sold on him. I'm not sold on him, and I don't want to be the guy. And I don't think this is the place for it, but I'm going to say it anyway. I don't want to be the guy that says it, but for me, his persona to me will never be proven until he proves it in the big league. And I'm sorry, you can sit here and be the top dog here, and you don't have to do it. You don't have to. You can stay here for your whole career. It gives a fuck, right? But to me, like, I like the gimmick. First of all, I don't even think it works well here because I don't think there's a lot of people that, like you said, like Darby Allin's really good with him and stuff like that. But I don't think there's a lot of Darby Allins back there where his gimmick really works. I think he's very aggressive, and he needs someone to either take that in a certain way or give it back to him. Mm-hmm. And from my memory, unless there's some new people here that can do that, I don't. That's what makes me not a MJF guy. So I just don't think his whole gimmick goes off well here. Almost like he's a bully. That's what it feels like. It feels like he's just bullying people. Like he's got this big persona and no one's not really as big as him. So it comes off as being really, really good. I don't know why this turned into an MJF hate thing. It's just something that I wanted to point out. I'm not a big fan on that. But when it comes
to be fair, it's not hate.
Okay.
What you're saying is not hate. Finish your point.
No, I'm just saying that the match itself was great. I like Darby Allin a lot. I don't have the. Oddly enough, I'm gonna be a hypocrite here. I don't have that same criticism for Darby Allin. I don't know if that's because I don't know if that's because I think the way he works would work just fine. I question MJF. I don't question Darby Allin.
I can explain why.
Well,
I can explain to you why.
I'm almost done. I like what he does. I love the match. I love the way Darby Allin works. He somehow has mastered the art of killing yourself, but not actually killing yourself. And it's just it's
some
great
of
to see
those
him.
times he is killing.
No, he like when he came off the scaffolding, which by the way,
Yeah,
sidebar, that entrance with the scaffolding, I don't know, maybe I'm a mark, but I love that shit. For New York, that was fantastic.
No, that was good. That was good.
That was fantastic.
That entrance totally looked like a New York entrance.
Fantastic.
Because everything here is always under construction. So
it's almost like they were building a set, but they just haven't finished it yet. So the scaffolding was still there. It was fucking awesome. I loved it.
We're out of time. What do you want to do? Fuck it, leave it.
Fuck it, just leave it. It's on theme. We got something else to do. We got to hiccup the speakers. But when he climbed up and came down, he cracked the back of his head. He was fucking leaking. But he still finished the match and everything like that. I don't know. I like Darby Allin. I like this match. I think it went well. But yeah, that was my little MJF rant I wanted to go on when we got here. So
that's fine. I can explain between the two and jump on the WWE point in the sense that the reason why you look at MJF in that light and not Darby is because MJF is the one that walks around all the time telling everybody that he's the greatest. His goal is to be the best wrestler in the world, and it's hard for a certain demographic of fans to see him that way when he's not taking swings at Yankee Stadium. You could bat 400 in Staten Island Yankees, but until you go to the Bronx, we don't know where you're at. And for everybody who goes, why AEW he doesn't need to go to WWE. AEW is better than WWE anyway. That could be your truth, and that's fine. Even MJF himself said that there's a little piece of him that kind of feels like it actually adds to his legacy if he's the best, that guy that never went to WWE.
Right, that's a cop out, but okay, that's fair.
And that's neither here nor there. But the fact of the matter is that WWE is the company. And even if you don't succeed at WWE, there's something to be said about the talent that gets there. You know, you can go through the ranks, high school, college, minor league, AAA ball, AA ball, and get to the majors. And when you get to the majors, you know, your career isn't what you thought it was going to be, but you got to the majors. Mm-hmm. You come down now from that level and you spread that knowledge. And when they look at you, they don't just go AEW champion, former WWE superstar. My opinion holds more weight than AEW superstar. It just does. Mm-hmm. MJF is surrounded by guys that he can dominate. You know, mm-hmm. Is MJF as effective if he's in a storyline with Drew McIntyre? Is he as effective if he gets into a storyline with Randy Orton?
You know what's funny? What comes straight to my head? LA Knight.
LA Knight.
I would love to see LA
Roman
Knight
Reigns.
and MJF. Roman, don't do that. Because you will squash MJF. Because the moment he start popping off at the mouth and Roman just does this, and that's what you get back. Okay, we'll see. And he throws the mic and walks away, and then you lose.
We've already gotten a sneak peek of what that could look like because the next name that comes to mind has already happened, and that's Punk. When we saw MJF and Punk in AEW, to this day, his best program. Not even close was MJF and Punk. Darby might be the closest, but that's because it's a long time rivalry, battling from training school into the indies to the main stage. That rivalry has been going on for years. There's a built-in story for that. But bar for bar, on the microphone, move for move, in the ring, storyline for storyline, MJF and Punk, magic. Now imagine MJF in a room. I'm going to throw a name out there, and I know that Punk used this as an insult, but legitimately get your ego out of the way and really think about it. MJF and The Miz? I mean, in a storyline to get MJF higher on the higher status in the company, to have, I don't want to say stepping stool, but to get a guy into that WWE universe.
Here's a litmus test, Miz, and don't take Miz.
Yes.
Don't take Miz's fun approach with new talent as he can't go. because he can. You put him in front of MJF, I'm sure he'll put on a different package. He won't be as bubbly in that situation. But I digress. That's what when I see him, it's hard for me to look past that when I'm watching him because his whole gimmick, I just like, all right, whatever. It's fun.
And for most people, it's a really like delicate subject to touch because they don't want to actually go there. And they go, no, he doesn't need to go.
He doesn't. I'll agree with you. He doesn't.
Yeah, he doesn't need to go. If he's making the kind of money right now where he would never have to go ever if he doesn't want
to. Do whatever the fuck he wants. I'm just telling you how I look at him. And it don't
but
matter.
If you're serious about legacy, you gotta go. You gotta go. There's always going to be the I'm successful without going list very short. The one guy that always stood out was Sting, and he eventually went. There's an asterisk on everybody else. So if you want the asterisk, that's up to you. That's fine. But if you
and that was proven, by the way, when Sting went, they blew the like he was still him when he did it. So validation.
All right. So that was AEW's Double or Nothing. Great time to be had. I recommend the show. I'd skip the Stadium Stampede, but everything else, I'm telling you,
it was fun.
Smooth like butter.
Just take like 48 hours before you watch the Stampede. That's all. That's what I do.
Take a cleanse.